now we come to the BSF part, where I want to know that how you people made into it. So yeah, Soumya, this time you can start. That how did you really make into BSF? Like, tell us the entire process, like from the first day itself. How did it start? You got a message on your WhatsApp official group that register for this, and then what happened?
Um, okay, so BSF came to our campus in February, if I'm not wrong, and
February 2020,
February 2021.
2021. Okay.
Yeah. And till then, all the placement season was almost over. So I had literally no hopes of getting placed. I was just like, okay, let's just. And I think Arvind, I texted Arvind. I was like, bro, BSF aaya hai. And I think they're coming for a technical role, and I don't want a technical role. So do I apply or not? I don't know. So Arvind is like, अरे भर दे, क्या फर्क पड़ता है, कुछ भी मिलेगा चलेगा. Like at this point, you just need to get placed and stuff. So I'm like, okay, cool, let's fill it. So that is how I filled the form. Like I say, because I was like shot down from a lot of companies before. Like during if placement season starts at what, March 2020 it started. It was almost a year, and we had not been placed. After that, we got a mail saying that we have a group interview. And usually, what companies do is they take an OT first, and then they have a GD, and then an interview, right? So BSF out of nowhere just mailed, "Ek din, this is a list of people, and let's just have a group interview." And I'm like, okay then, because OTs are my weakness. I don't clear OTs that well. So I was like, oh wow, great. During the OT, I don't know if I should disclose it or not, but okay, I'll just tell you. You can edit it out later. We were given a scenario that we are on a sinking ship and we have 15 items. The list was given to us.
This is OT or this is during the group
This
discussion?
is during the group discussion. We didn't have any OT.
Yeah, so at BSF you were directly called for a group meeting or GD?
Group discussion.
Okay, GD.
The GD, yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
okay. I mean, this part can stay if you want. I mean, this.
Okay. So we were on a sinking ship which was on fire. Okay. And we were given a list of 15 items that we have to prioritize as to if you are to go on a lifeboat and if you are to save yourself, what items will you take first? So
okay, that's super cool.
so we were told that we have like 10,000 bucks in cash, and we have 2 lifeboats, and all people can fit in that lifeboat. That was one of the assumptions. So like we had stuff like a map, a mosquito net, and fireworks. So what will you take and what will you leave in the ship? So that was our discussion, and we had to come up with the priority list in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, because obviously the ship was on fire. So, so that took about 15 to 20 minutes, and we still couldn't come up with the list because it was a virtual discussion. And our voices were all overlapping, and somebody was saying something, somebody was saying something else. So we managed to get like top 10 things at the end of the 15-minute session. And based on what we had chosen, then we were asked questions.
So how many people were there in this GD?
Total 13 people.
Okay, including you and Arvind, right?
No. I was selected through another process.
We got into BSF through off-campus placement, like off-campus.
Not exactly an off-campus. I wouldn't call it off-campus. Not exactly. It's a little bit different. I'll get to it.
Fine, I'll come to that. Arvind. Yeah.
Okay, so then we were asked questions like, if you could throw one person out, who would you throw out? Or if you could, choose one person as the leader of the group, who would you choose? And and then individually we were asked to rate others, and we were asked who performed the least well out of all you people. Okay. So that was a bit challenging. It was like a moral.
It was a bit awkward.
It was, definitely awkward. And, it's like deciding between your morals, man. Like you can't answer somebody. You can't. If supposing we 3 are having a GD, and if I perform the least well, so Arvind will take my name or not. And
मैं तो बराबर ले लेता था.
So
my first job would be to pick Soumya off the ship.
Supposing Arvind performed the least, should I take his name as a friend? But then I should also perform to the recruiter also. But then it's against my morals. So it was all a very big dilemma. So, and then we were asked whether we could have done anything that could have made the session a whole lot better. So these were a few things that it was a bit tricky. But then BSF recruiters made us like really comfortable, and they said that you needed to have an open discussion. And what they would so in the during the end they asked if we had any questions for them. So I got a bit I got a bit on a daring side, and I asked, what were you exactly looking for when you were asking these questions? Like, I didn't phrase it like that, but I was
This
a
was
bit
during
more
the
formal.
GD, or this was during the
Yeah, this was during the GD. So
Okay.
one of the recruiters, I asked them, what were you looking for when you asked these questions?
Okay.
So, and how would you prioritize your list? If you were on a sinking ship, how would you prioritize your list? Would it be different from ours?
Okay. And this you asked after, like, while
After the discussion was over,
Okay.
they said, like, every recruiter asks you na whether you have any questions for us.
Acha,
So in
acha.
the end, वैसे. So I asked them, and then sir was like, "Acha, we look for teamwork, and we look for like how bold you are, your leadership qualities and stuff." So it was a very like healthy discussion. And one thing that I liked about BSF a lot that I did not find in any other interviews was that they wanted us to make our preferences clear in the beginning of the interview itself. They did not leave it up to them. Like usually, what recruiters do, like what students do, is whatever department you place us into, we'll be fine with it. But then BSF was the opposite. BSF, what they did was they're like, do you want a commercial or do you want a technical internship? Tell us right now, and we'll place you over there if we have any vacancies. But you cannot be on both ends. You can either be in operations or you can either be in commercial. You can't be in both.
Okay.
So I think that was something that recruiters should do more often, because because I went into the mindset that even if I had a technical internship in BSF, I'll somehow go through it. I didn't really want a technical internship, but then since BSF is a very good company and it could look good in my resume, I was like, okay, let's just do it. But then they pointed at everybody and they asked whether you want a technical or a commercial role, and I said I wanted a commercial role, and they were like, okay, if we like your interview, then we'll obviously hire you. So that was something that I really liked about BSF.
That's cool. That's really nice.
Um,
Okay.
and
Suppose you really what happened. Yeah. Sorry, you were saying.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
No. Go on. Go on. Please
Yeah.
go on.
Huh. So after that, yeah, and they said that they'll contact us in 2 days. Okay, and I didn't hear from them for like 3-4 days. Like though, then I was like, okay, they'll call. It's okay, they'll call. Okay, and then I was texting Arvind. I was freaking out. I was like, bro, call nahi aa raha, bro, call nahi aa raha. And then they took a bit of time. Yeah, they took a bit of time to reach back. They took about a week. And this, like, I was sleeping on a Sunday morning, and I get a call from HR. They're like, "Arey, we liked your profile, and would you be interested in coming to Chennai? And is there any like issues with your family that you would want to stay in Mumbai or do a work from home internship?" So all this was addressed, and then he asked me whether I want to go into sales or supply chain. So they were very clear as to where and how each intern will be placed, and they didn't hide it from us. They didn't make the recruitment process very ambiguous. They're like, okay, we have this position, this position, this position, which one do you want? They made the recruitment process very transparent, and that is something that I really respect from the HR department of BSF, because usually the students are left very very like in a half-assed mental state, that they're like, ये क्या होने वाला है, हम कौन से department में जाएंगे. We wouldn't know that until we actually do the internship. But I knew that if I get recruited here, I'll be in the supply chain department. So I'll be like, okay, cool. I know what I'm going for, and I know that I can do it. So
Yeah, that also gives you a space to prepare yourself and research.
yeah,
On
exactly.
yourself also.
Exactly. So that is how I got the internship. Yeah.
So after GD, there was an interview round.
No, nothing.
Just
After-
one GD, and that's all.
One GD, and then like one call, individual call from our HR, and that's it.
So one individual call. That was what? That was that Sunday call that you said.
Yeah. But I think only a few of us got it. Not everybody got it. It was just to place us in every department. It was
Okay.
like an informal call. It wasn't official.
Okay, like in the GD, wasn't there any technical questions asked or any kind of questions like, what is, let's say, I don't know, what is supply chain, or can you please talk about a few supply chains?
In
Nothing, none of
GDs, the
that kind.
topic is the idea is not to test the candidates, like how exactly he does, how much of his GK does he know, but how much can a candidate speak and what exactly is he speaking.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, because when you speak in a GD, the first criteria that they look into students is to identify those who did not speak during the GD, because we certainly, companies when they hold GDs, we do see a lot. Like, I see a lot of my friends who did not speak at all during the GD, and so I was like, so it was not something surprising that when they were not selected. So first, the companies that they generally like to see is the candidates who are not speaking up during like a speaking event. Right? So that is something they definitely look out for. Then amongst the candidates who do speak, then they like evaluate the ideas, like what exactly was the thought process, and then on the basis of that, then they do select. But I think the preliminary point of a GD is to how good is his communication skill, and for example, they don't exactly want bullies during a GD.
Yeah,
A person who
exactly.
just keeps on speaking or speaking or speaking over others. This is also something that they identify. Like this candidate just shuts up other people up. To emphasize his point. They also look for people who build on other people's points or compliment others. So showcasing like a little bit of teamwork. That yes, his idea was good, and to build on top of that, I would also like to recommend XYZ. This is also something that should be looked out for in a GD. As candidates who do like to do some kind of like what should I say, helping each other out. That is also something that the recruiters look out for.
Yeah, like you shouldn't like overpower others, just to get into the front line. It's all about teamwork. Like you have to lift each other up, and that is something that recruiters, value a lot.
Fine. So I guess in BSF, what they really want to test is what kind of work culture do you inherit? Like,
Yeah.
have you built in yourself? And that is what they just want to see.
Okay, so I'll tell you from a recruiter's point of view how they recruit people.
Yeah.
Those tangible skills like learning about the process, or learning about how this distillation column works. All this is teachable. All this can be learned and picked up. But skills like teamwork or leadership, it's a little inherited and it cannot be taught to someone. It can only be experienced, right? So they look for people who have experience in that, in those skills that, okay, you know how to communicate your needs, you know how to lift people up, you know how to encourage someone, you know how to scold someone if they're doing something wrong without making them feel bad or without being offensive. So these qualities is what they look for. And honestly, a lot of companies do help us in doing courses. Like they'll tell us, okay, maybe after, if we recruit you, you can do this course beforehand and then you can join the company. So these courses are teachable. So they won't focus a lot on that. They'll focus on skills like communication skills or leadership skills, or how well do you will you gel with the work environment of the company.
Yeah, this is a very interesting point. I was watching one of the lectures of Rakesh Godwani. I don't know if anyone of you know him. He's a professor at IIM.
Oh,
He was giving this lecture on how he got recruited, and he could not answer a single question, a single technical question he could not answer. But post the internship was over, post the interview was over, and like it was almost his time to leave the room. He just went on to talk with all the recruiters as to like how was your day, how did you come in, अभी रिक्शा मिल रहा है कि नहीं, आप बस से
Oh,
आए हैं या टैक्सी से आए हैं. And post that he got hired, and the reason for he getting hired that the company gave was the technical skills. I guess the company can teach you in a month, but
but soft skills are something that is inherited to each and
yeah,
every student. Yeah, so I
yeah,
think that is definitely something that the companies do look out for in every candidate. We see a
yeah.
lot about we see it in the PMG leadership programs, even in the Unilever Future Leaders program as well. This is something that they look out for in their candidates, as like how communicative they are with others, how much of like how much of a team player they actually are. Because something this is in the process industry line, this is something that brings about a lot of change. With a good team leader, you can actually create a lot of like what should I say, like progress in any project.
Hi, this is Tunir. We hope that you enjoyed this video and found it useful. Please do feel free to let us know your thoughts, your ideas on the same in the comment section. If you enjoyed our video, please do like and share it as much as possible. And of course, please do subscribe to Oilgasm. Thank you.